Hey everyone, it's Ethan or Miist back again for another video today, and welcome back to the channel, guys. We're here again for yet another video, and today we're going to be talking about the movies I watched last week, and Mel's going to be joining me today because we watched a lot of movies together last week, although most of this video will probably still be me because I watched 18 movies again last week. I'm averaging 18 movies per week so far the first 2 weeks of January, so yeah, I'm up to 36 movies already, which is fucking crazy. But yeah, let's get into it.
I'm only at 50.
Yes, but I'm so proud of you. I wanted Mel to hit 150 this year because last year we did about 70 together, and that was from August till the new year. Or I guess July, a little like halfway through July. So, but yeah, I believe that we can get to 150 this year. I mean, she's on pace right now for like 380. That's probably not going to happen, but you know, we'll see what happens. 370 I think is more accurate anyways. So we're still, nothing's going to change, but any movie that we watch together we'll both talk about. You guys can hear Mel's opinions of them as well. So up first, my least favorite watch of the week, I decided to watch the Divergent trilogy, and my least favorite watch of the week was Allegiant, which I ranked a 30 out of 100. I really didn't care for any of these three movies, and it's very sad that there was this series is 4 books, was supposed to be 4 movies, but the trilogy was so bad they canceled it with only 1 movie left. I don't know if you knew that, but
damn.
Yeah, it was so bad that they canceled the series with only 1 movie left. So obviously,
that's not good.
Yeah, obviously not great. But up next, Mel is not happy about this one. Sharpay's Fabulous Adventure.
So low!
Which I ranked a 35 out of 100.
Do you want to know what I ranked it?
But,
you want me to
yeah,
say what I did?
Mine's a 2-star. Mel doesn't really give number ratings, but
I do give stars
yes.
and opinions. Is that like a nice way to put it?
All I said was LOL, 35 out of 100.
I give it a 4-star because it's fire. I don't know. It's so good. You don't say anything extra about it, do you? Do you talk about like? No?
I just didn't enjoy it.
Oh my god!
But you enjoy it.
Yeah. The music is really good, and we love Sharpay, and Austin Butler, King.
I didn't think the music was very great. All right, up next, continuing with the Divergent trilogy, it's Insurgent. I think the trilogy just gets worse as it goes, so this is number 2, a 40 out of 100. I heard pretty bad things about the last 2 movies, and I didn't think either of them were as bad as I expected. I expected them to both be like 1 star or half a star. Personally, I got some enjoyment out of both of them. A little, but still, it wasn't very much. This one is only 10 points above the 3rd out of 40, so it's still very bad, and I did not enjoy it. But up next, actually also out of 40 out of 100, Percy Jackson, Sea of Monsters. I watched both Percy Jackson movies this week. I'd like to watch the show once all the episodes are out, since it's new, and Edge is in it, which I learned this week. Shout out Edge. You don't know who Edge is, but he's a wrestler.
Shout out Edge.
Yeah, he's a wrestler. He's also in The Flash, fun fact. He's in an episode of The Flash.
No way!
Anyways, I also ranked this one a 40 out of 100. I didn't write anything, but overall it was just...
You didn't write anything?
It was just, no, I literally just wrote 40 out of 100.
Damn.
Some movies don't even get a review, and they just get a number. This is one
terrible.
of them. This is one of them. I don't think it's...
I always give a review.
I don't think it's a terrible movie, but...
I give a description.
But it's a big step down from the first. I really enjoyed the first one more than I thought I was going to be fair. With that being said, up next to another 2024 release, which is Lift. It came out on Netflix, I think Friday, and it's fine. I ranked it a 53 out of 100. I thought some of the dialogue was poor. It was just fine. It's a pretty good cast, though, and I liked the cast. I liked the actors in the cast, so that kind of held my interest. But overall, it was just fine. A 53 out of 100, so it's just quite mid. Then up next, controversial maybe, Mean Girls 2024.
Oh, the new one.
The new one. So I ranked it a 2.5 star, which is a 55 out of 100.
I gave it a 3-star.
Yeah, which is pretty low for Mel.
But I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. I was mostly cringing.
Yeah.
But I was also laughing.
I was laughing too, but I was laughing at
But also,
the movie.
I get, like, people who didn't know it was a musical would be really confused and wouldn't understand what the hell's happening. I knew it was a musical. I've heard all the songs from the musical in the past from, like, watching clips of the play and all that. So, like, I didn't find it, I think, as bad as other people might, just because I knew that.
Yeah, there was people in front of us that we seen that they were
They're
audibly stunned when
they found out.
when they broke into song the first twice in the first 10 minutes.
It was really entertaining.
The entire first half of the movie was hilarious because I just got to look over to Mel and her friends, seeing their reactions of their cringe. It was great. That was the highlight of the movie.
But like Renee Rapp is a great Regina George, and I will give her that. She did really good, and she's so hot. I just had to mention that. Celebrity crush of the week for me.
That's fair.
I wrote so much about it, but I'm not going to say all that because I just went on a tangent.
Fair enough. All right, up next, the original Divergent, so the first one, which I ranked a 58 out of 100.
I just keep thinking of the other things we watched this week and how I'm actually proud that, like, our movies, like, are so high.
Yeah, fair enough. So this one was fine as well. Again, it's just kind of a mid-movie. It definitely isn't the worst of the three, in my opinion. I've never read any of the books. I do remember reading some of the first one a little bit when I was younger. And of course, during the 2010s, that's just when every dystopian movie and book was coming out, like Hunger Games, Divergent, and Maze Runner, which I haven't watched, or I think the Maze Runner is books as well.
Chloe.
Do you know?
Maze Runner? I don't think Maze Runner.
I thought they were books as well. Well, anyways.
My friends really liked Maze Runner. It was like a big thing.
I'm gonna watch the Maze Runner as well this year.
Kai Hong Lee, I think his name is. Chloe had a big crush on Kai Hong Lee.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Yeah. So I'm gonna watch the Maze Runners also sometime this year. I recently watched the Hunger Games when the new one came out, and then of course, but he's attacking her feet. Sorry. And then of course, me with the Divergence. So we'll get to the Maze Runner eventually. Up next, we have the Jonas Brothers Family Roast, which.
Oh my god! I didn't even rank. I forgot that was considered a movie. I didn't even rank it.
Fair enough.
Oh.
I got a couple.
Forgot we watched.
I ranked it a 65 out of 100. It's hard
really?
to. It's hard to rank comedies and documentaries and short films like that. But
documentaries are easier to rank than like comedy.
Obviously,
specials.
this was a comedy special, so it's completely subjective to everyone.
I heard Ethan laugh a few times.
I did laugh a few
good.
times. My favorite skit was the Nile skit. That was the one. That was the only one I really thoroughly enjoyed.
Iconic.
The other ones were just.
I really like
Pete
Davidson
decent, so. But yeah, obviously, I'm not a big fan of comedies that are trying to be funny.
I thought you were gonna say the Jonas Brothers, and I almost.
Well, I have to be a fan of the Jonas Brothers. So, anyways, a 65 out of 100. What were your thoughts on it?
I really enjoyed it. Pete Davidson was great. Niall Horan obviously is a slay. I loved the Jonas Brothers, and I loved the whole thing.
Fair enough.
Something I've watched before. That was not my first time watching it. I just wanted Ethan to watch it because we had just watched the documentary previously that day, so I thought we would watch that.
That's fair, which we'll get to shortly. Up next, we have High School Musical 2, which I believe is both of our least favorites from the trilogy, which might be a hot take.
It definitely is.
I feel like there is cult following.
You were telling me how High School Musical 3 was the worst ever since we'd met, and then when we rewatched them, it ended up being higher.
Yeah.
I'm glad he finally sees how good High School Musical 3 is.
I feel like there are cult followings for each of the three movies about which one is the best, especially 2 and 3. I feel like 1 is the most slept on, but that's my favorite, so... Anyways.
High School Musical 2 is my least favorite.
Same.
Just because, I don't know. There's something missing, and I can't quite pinpoint it.
Yeah.
And, the whole movie, obviously, there's some songs that are great. I Don't Dance is a bop. Fabulous is a bop. Humanuka Nika
No,
Akua.
no,
Ethan hates that
no.
song.
The
I know all
worst
the
song
words.
I've ever listened to in my life.
I know all the words.
That's honestly a big reason as to why this movie is the lowest, is because of how much I actually hate that song.
I love Sharpay in this movie. I think she is.
Sounds like demon time.
She is, but also she is getting Troy that education, and Gabriella is singing, crying on a fucking bridge. And Sharpay is like, "Let me give you a future," and Gabriella's like, "Let me give you hell."
Yeah, Mel is not a Gabriella fan. Also, fun fact, you guys can't see, but Mel has the Troy and Sharpay pops back there on the top shelf. Because she's a big nerd, so...
Yeah, I have so many Funko Pops.
You do, you have like 10.
Woo!
I mean, not my 200, but I used to have 400, to be fair, at one point.
Okay, next.
Yeah. High School Musical 2, I ranked a 70 out of 100.
How many stars?
It was originally a 61, but yeah, I went up from a 3-star to a 3.5 star.
I still have it at a 4-star, even though it's my least favorite. I'm not saying it's not good.
Yeah, no, I agree.
God,
I think
no.
it's a good movie.
Still a 4-star.
Bet on It. That's also a Bob. Also a Bob.
I danced the whole thing.
Yeah, that's facts. Forgot about that. All right, up next is Percy Jackson and the Olympians.
Didn't watch it.
The Lightning Thief, yes. This is one that I watched. I ranked it a 71 out of 100. I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I was going to be fair. Obviously, it's a big gap between 1 and 2, but I did quite enjoy this one. I thought I was going to really hate these two movies, but I enjoyed this first one. I don't think it's great by any means, but a 71 out of 100 is still good.
That's
for
good
my
for you.
rankings. Yeah.
Anything over like 70 for you is like pretty decent. Like, I'll be proud if you give anything
like
over
most
70.
of my rankings go between 3.5 and 4 stars, so it's between that 70 to 90 range. If it's high 80s or in the 90s, then I really enjoy the movie typically. So if we get there, then we get there. That's a good thing. But up next, we have Chasing Happiness, the Jonas Brothers documentary. It was a first-time watch for me. It's one of Mel's favorite things ever to watch. She's watched it twice in the past few months.
Literally in the past 2 months, I think I watched it twice.
Yeah, I think it's 2 or 3 months, yeah. So I ranked it a 75
I literally
out of
wrote,
100.
I could watch this every day. It's the only thing I wrote. I gave it a 5-star, 100 out of 100. This documentary, well, I hope Ethan learned a lot. I think he definitely gave him an insight on the Jonas Brothers.
It seems to be that Nick was the problem child, or is the problem child. I would
put
say
that out in the world.
I would say was. I'm sure he's not anymore, but obviously he seemed more interested in going solo than being in a band. So
he's the only one who did really good solo.
Yeah.
But no, I love the Jonas Brothers, and this documentary is my favorite documentary. And that says a lot if you know me. I could watch it every day. It's so good. I mean, Never Say Never by Justin Bieber is still a bop, but
so bad. Worst documentary I've watched. I think it actually is the lowest doc.
I've actually got to go.
I think it's the lowest doc that I've ranked. That's funny.
Really?
Yeah, out of 50.
Usher's in it.
Ooh. So enticing.
And Will Smith's kid.
Yeah.
Jaden Smith.
Yeah.
Oh, fire.
Alright, up next is Jack the Giant Slayer, which I ranked a 76 out of 100. This is one of my first watches of last week, but a great cast. I love Ewan McGregor, of course. I enjoyed this movie more than I thought I was going to as well. I think it had an average rating of it's a 2.4 average rating, so it's not very high. My parents, I know, have watched it a lot. I've seen them watch it, so I recognize most of this movie. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. 76 out of 100. Then up next, we have 17 again, which we watched together. That. We went through a bit of a Zac Efron phase this week, and we're hopefully going to continue that this upcoming week.
It's going to keep going.
Because we have Baywatch, Neighbors,
Hairspray, Greatest Showman, all my musicals. Yes. I'm excited.
Oh, and Dirty Grandpa. And hopefully the Iron Claw again, for me.
Oh.
You said you wanted to watch it.
I do, but I just don't think it's my kind of movie.
No.
17 again was surprisingly the first time I've ever watched this.
This is not the first time I've ever watched this, but it's been a very, very long time since I've watched it. I enjoyed it quite a lot. I ranked it a 79 out of 100. It's my favorite 3.5 star of the week. Yeah, that's correct. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. Mel was stunned when she seen Sterling Knight, which I knew he was in this.
I did not know Starlight Night was in this. We had just watched Starstruck. And yeah, no, I thought this was really good. Rest in peace, Matthew Perry. I wish he was in it more, honestly.
That's fair.
But Zac Efron did a really good job. I mean, Zac Efron always does a good job. I find his acting is just, I don't know, I love him as an actor. I know that's maybe controversial. I also love him as a singer.
It's not anymore.
But I really love his singing as well. And I just think he's been in a lot more stuff that people don't give him enough credit for.
That's fair.
I think people know him as Troy Bolton. I think he needs to be known as more than that.
That's fair. All right, up next,
was really deep.
One of Mel's favorite movies of all time, High School Musical 3, senior year, which I ranked a 80 out of 100. It gets a 21 point bump from 59 to an 80. So it gets it was a 2.5 star up to a 4 star as well. So
I have it as a 5 star, 100 out of 100.
I
don't even give numbers.
Turns out I enjoyed this a lot more than I remembered.
I told him he would.
When I watched the trilogy last spring, I didn't enjoy the second or third really at all. I really enjoyed the first, but still, all of my rankings for these went up. Maybe it's just because I have more of an attachment now because of how much I love Zac Efron now.
No, it's just so good.
But I think also Mel's influence
I'm going to give
helps.
some controversial facts. High School Musical 3 has the best soundtrack.
It's the first.
That's the first fact.
Oh, it's the first.
What?
The first has the best soundtrack.
No.
Yeah.
The third has the best soundtrack. This is also so much more high quality. Like, this came out in the theaters.
Yeah, I mean...
And even, like, from the first,
the opening scene, I'm like, oh my god, this looks so much better. This clearly had a higher budget, and Champion is a sponsor. Those are the first 3 things I noticed.
Yeah. So, it's just so much better. I don't know. Everything about this, I literally wrote best soundtrack ever. Storyline is amazing.
As big Dancing with the Stars fans, we just made it our mission to find Brit every time she was on screen.
Brit Stewart cameoed in every single High School Musical, and we tried to find her dancing every single scene.
She gets one line throughout the entire trilogy, and it's in the third, so shout out Brit. You have anything else to say about HSM?
If you haven't watched it, go watch it because it will change your life. Thank you.
All right, up next, the original Mean Girls. Man, I really enjoyed this one. I ranked it an 81 out of 100, so a big differential from the new one. I enjoyed this one a lot more.
I also have this one higher.
All of them are MILFs. That's a fact. What did you rank it?
I ranked it a 4 star.
Yeah. It's rare that we're the same star rating, so... We both ranked it a 4.
No, Mean Girls is just that iconic movie. I mean, I've seen it so many times, and it's the first time I watched it was so long ago. I feel like I watch it at least like once a year. It's like one of those movies that just you can watch, and everybody knows too.
Yeah.
It's just such a classic. I mean, the remake can't even be close of like the nostalgia this brings.
That's fair.
And I kept like. It was hard because we had just watched this one and then saw the new one, and I feel like I kept comparing a lot just because we'd just seen it. I have a friend of mine who watched it yesterday, like, after seeing the new one. So she, like, I think it would have been a bit better because then you can more appreciate the new one.
Yeah, fair enough.
But...
Yeah, rather than comparing it before, you can compare it after, which you might not dislike the first one as much.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
Especially after, because we watched the original and then 2 days later we watched the new one, so, you know, maybe that has an effect on the way that we enjoyed it, so... Especially trying to compare it to the first.
But it's still really good.
Up next, we have Asteroid City. This is one of my most anticipated movies of last year, which I just never got around to seeing in theaters. So I'm very glad I ended up seeing it. I really love Wes Anderson's filmmaking. Last year, he became one of my favorite directors. I watched most of his filmography, and I really, really love this movie. It got an 88 out of 100. I told Mel to look at the cast because it's just one of the craziest casts ever.
Yeah, I looked at it.
It's like Wes Anderson's Avengers. It's absolutely wild, but I loved it. It could become my favorite Wes Anderson film on rewatch, but anything could happen. You never know. So up next, we have Freaky Friday, which I really enjoyed.
Higher than that?
I really enjoyed this.
Whoa, you ranked that so much higher than I thought.
I ranked it a 90 out of 100.
Holy shit.
Really enjoyed it.
How many stars is that?
It's 4.5.
probably ranked it at 3.5.
I really enjoyed it.
Don't get me wrong, I love this movie. I've seen this. This is like Mean Girls. It's literally the same effect. Lindsay Lohan being the queen of both these movies. Yeah. But me and Ethan have this thing where like we pick movies out of a bag. We have a bunch of movies written down. Whenever we don't know what to watch, we just pick. Freaky Friday was our pick of the other day, and it happened that we had just watched Mean Girls that same day too. So we kind of just watched two Lindsay Lohans in a row. Oh my god, I can't speak anymore. But this movie is fire. It's iconic. It's not as good as I feel like it was previous times I've watched it, but probably just because I'm getting older.
Fair enough. You said you watched it a lot though as well, to be fair. So
I've watched it so many times. Chad Michael Murray.
All right, up next, my favorite High School Musical is High School Musical 1, which I raised from a 78 to a 90 out of 100. I really enjoyed this one a lot more, but it's actually the smallest bump up, I believe, of the three.
No, I have this as a 5-star. Same with the third.
I have it at a 4.5. So
I wrote many things, but I will just point out that Coach Bolton is the DILF of Disney Channel, and you can try and tell me otherwise, but you're just wrong.
Fair enough. All right, up next for me is The Fallout, which I've been wanting to watch this movie for a long time, mostly because I knew that there was a clip of Jenna Ortega singing Juice WRLD, which is just great. But, of course, this was the movie I talked to you about that I wanted to watch, about the fallout of a school shooting. But you said you didn't want to watch it. So I ended up getting around to watching it, and I really enjoyed it. I ranked it a 92 out of 100. Obviously, the subject matter is very controversial, of course, it coming out during the time where a lot of school shootings were happening during or throughout the states. So it came out around that same time. It's a very sensitive topic, and I felt like it was handled very, very well. So I really enjoyed that. That was number.
What is it called? The Killer?
The Fallout. So that was my number 3 of the week. My number 2 at a 93 out of 100 is Chronicles, which is actually, I think, my last watch of the week. Chronicles, sorry. I loved this movie so much. It was a really awesome sci-fi thriller. The found footage filmmaking was really unique and really cool. It's only the second found film footage I've watched. And I really, really enjoyed it. I loved the cast. I thought the connection between the three mains were really, really great. And the CGI for doing everything, by hand, found footage style, was, I thought, really, really strong, especially since this came out in 2012 and had a very low budget. Hi, Kitty. But my favorite watch of the week was After Sun, a 95 out of 100. This is a beautiful movie. Shout out Paul Mescal. But yeah, I needed to do some. I have no
idea what you're talking about.
I needed to do some research about it after, because I didn't really understand where Charlotte Wells was going with it. But her directorial debut was absolutely incredible. After I had read about what the goal of the film was, you revisiting your childhood memories and seeing them differently now as an adult can obviously really impact you depending on what your childhood was like. So it got pretty deep, right? And it can be very emotional, but. With that being said, thank you guys all so much for watching. Hopefully you did enjoy, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.